The Pittsburgh Steelers have just drafted one of the most physical running backs in the entire draft. They've selected, with the 83rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Iowa's running back, Kaleb Johnson. Kaleb Johnson had one of the most productive seasons in Iowa program history. Despite an anemic offense overall, he was a key bright spot for them. And now he joins the Pittsburgh Steelers backfield after they just let Najee Harris leave in free agency. He joins Jalen Warren, and those two will make an amazing duo. But first, before I get more into his introduction to you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, once again, the pick is not quarterback Shedeur Sanders. It's a running back, and it's Kaleb Johnson. So, yesterday, apparently, the pick was between Derek Harmon and Shedeur Sanders, and no one knew what the Steelers were going to do. They ended up going Derek Harmon. So, you would have thought that since Shedeur Sanders has yet to been drafted and fell all the way to the third round, that he would be the pick here at 83. Well, no. It's obvious that no one knows what the Steelers are really going to do but them, because Shedeur Sanders is not the draft selection here. It is running back, Iowa's running back, Kaleb Johnson. And when you look at Kaleb Johnson, he stands at 6'1" and 224 pounds, an absolute monster who ran a 4.5 second 40-yard dash time at the combine. And to be honest, he looks faster on film than his combine speed. So you look at his athleticism, and it isn't elite, but he has really great burst and maximizes his opportunities with patience and great contact balance. When you look at his season this past year in 2024, he had 240 rushing attempts for 1,537 yards, and also adding in 21 rushing touchdowns. That is a lot. He also added 22 receptions for 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he led his conference in yards, rushing touchdowns, and total touchdowns on his way to an All-American selection. Looking at Johnson, he was in for a pre-draft visit, and we know the Steelers love drafting players who are in that pool of players that they bring in. So this pick was telling. You also look at running back position. It was a position the Pittsburgh Steelers knew they had to add to because they let Najee Harris leave in free agency. They needed a bruising running back, and that's exactly what he can be for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Behind Genty, he is the most physical running back in the entire draft class. And to be honest, he could have even went in round 2 or earlier, just based off his film alone. But there weren't that many running back needy teams, but the Steelers were one of them, and that's why they select him here, and he fell to them. Also, one of the reasons, or maybe downfalls, of Johnson is his years of experience in terms of being at elite level. He's really only had this past year to where he put up so much production. Also, one downfall as well is maybe because he isn't elite yet at the pass catching portion of his game. But to be honest, he just hasn't been given the opportunity to really show what he's capable of. But he's being added to a group with the Pittsburgh Steelers where he won't need to do that. He's just going to need to be himself, be the bruising running back that he is. Jalen Warren is probably the best pass catching running back maybe in the entire league. Also, Kenneth Gainwell is a really good pass-catching running back as well, who just signed here from the Eagles. So Kaleb Johnson, he won't need to do that. He could just be the guy who could run over people, break through tackles, stiff arm you, and do all the little stuff and get those touchdowns. So the Pittsburgh Steelers thought they were getting that in Najee Harris when they drafted in the first round many years back now, but they never ended up getting that. He was afraid of contact, it looked like, but Johnson's not. He's a big body running back, and he runs through you. That's what he wants to do. So, looking at Kaleb Johnson, he's young, he's a gifted back who is riding one season of high-end production, but he has the full package when it comes to size, burst, strength, vision, and he a little bit lacks pass catching ability, but he could do it based off the film. Also, that's what you look at for a future and featured running back in this league. He would do best in a run-heavy, one-cut system where he goes more of a runway to hit full speed as he approaches the line of scrimmage. And to be honest, he looks like a Melvin Gordon, prime Melvin Gordon type of running back, if you had to give him a comp. So, let's look at his bio, where he's come from, and let me give you a little bit of an introduction to him. Because he comes from a system of Hamilton, Ohio. He was a junior prospect from there. He was born August 14th, 2003, meaning that he's 21 years old, and he's an enterprise leadership major, 4-star recruit according to Rivals, and he earned first-team All-State honors as a senior in high school. He's also completed in basketball and track in high school, and said in an interview that he wouldn't have committed to Ohio State even if the Buckeyes had offered him. So he saw action in all 13 games in 2022 and started 6, rushed 151 times for 779 yards. That is a lot, but I guess that's not the production that NFL teams were looking for. Also, you look at him, he started 10 games in 2023 and he started 11 games in 2024. So he basically started less games than those previous years that he played, but he put up even more production in this season than those past seasons. So to be honest, even though he's looked at as not having the high productivity in terms of through his entire college career, when you look at it, he has, just from my perspective. So Kaleb Johnson is now a Pittsburgh Steeler and franchise running back alongside Jalen Warren. And hopefully he's the running back that we all expected Najee Harris to be many years back. Anyway, before I end this video, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the selection of Kaleb Johnson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you like him at the running back position? And who else at the running back position would you have went with, specifically running back, if it wasn't Kaleb Johnson? Is there a different one that you wanted that was still left on the board? Also, I'm asking you this question as well. Would you have went Shedeur Sanders instead of Kaleb Johnson? Me personally, I would have, because you're still looking for your franchise quarterback and you don't know who's going to run the ship and you need a quarterback if you want to compete. But obviously the Steelers don't like Shedeur as much and maybe want to wait for a quarterback next year and want a veteran this year. I don't know what they're really thinking there, but me personally, I would have went Shedeur, but I love this pick as well with Kaleb Johnson coming to Pittsburgh. But I just want to ask you that question as well. What do you want, Shedeur or Kaleb? And do you think Shedeur might fall to the Pittsburgh Steelers in round 4? Let me know your thoughts. And to be honest, while you're doing all that, you might as well just drop your entire mock draft for the remaining rounds down in the comments below for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'll go through them and give you my thoughts on each of your selections as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything surrounding this draft. I will cover it and have covered it. Every new player, their introduction has been on the channel, and I'll continue doing it as well with highlights analysis following in the week coming. So stay tuned for all the rumors, all the selections, and until the next video, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.